welcome back to Tailor Tales. We're here now about to enter James' 13th chapter. When is the love story gonna proceed? I have no idea. An old memory resurfaces, making me pause. A young Rai crying, holding his broken arm. He's just gotten into trouble by following my dad, who was off on his own mission. He got a stern lecture about the importance of not butting into business that isn't your own. I stare at the stone and jolt, wide awake when I realize the entrance is closing. Take a half step backwards and watch the entrance close up, looking like a regular wall again. Lena's not supposed to leave the palace, that much I know. However, following her, it's not any of my business. There's no doubt about it that she's up to something, and I'm definitely curious to find out what exactly she's doing out there on her own. However, I shouldn't blindly run after her. The fire reflects off the gems in my armlet, a stark reminder that I'm being tracked. James has found me like this plenty of times. Even if I dropped it off here, there's no telling when he would come look for me, only to find me missing. I've got a feisty spirit, but even I know when to rein myself in. Not today. Alright, at least I know. My day goes by as usual, working together with Billy's in the infirmary. So far, there have been no alarms that Lena went missing. Princess Michiko, Billy is advised for my attention. Yes, sorry. I've been so caught up in my thoughts, it's hard to pay attention to what Billy is saying. His eyes look at my wrist. You don't need to wear that any longer. You can keep it in your chambers. Oh, the moquette, but I like it, I say with a smile. I've got one from Billy and one from Eok tied around my wrist. I didn't take them off, they feel special to me. Do as you like, he concedes. We go back to work and I'm lost in my thoughts again, wondering where Elena snuck off to. At the end of the day, as the price drops in. Oh. Bill! Her high, chipper voice is unmistakable. Princess Lena, Billy greets her politely. She's back and no one suspects a thing. Oh, I figured to be eating your supper by now, Princess Michiko, she says when she notices me. My stomach definitely hates me for staying here so long. There's always something to do in the infirmary. I will soon, I say with a smile. My curiosity is burning in the back of my mind. I want to know more. Where did she go? What about her tracker? I see she's wearing it right now, but what about the night before? The incident at the market, someone stole her armlet. Was it really stolen or did she plan it? I can't resist, I have to prod. So Princess Lena, I say casually, I couldn't find you anywhere after the festival. Where did you go? Oh, too much dancing and yelling, straight off to my chambers for me. I was simply exhausted, she lies expertly. If I didn't know the truth, I would have believed her completely. Yes, Princess Lena had to be escorted back to her chambers. Billy corroborates her story. Throws me off for a split second, but I compose myself. I catch myself staring at him dubiously. He's in on it too. I can imagine, all that dancing definitely looks tiring. I say with a fake grin. Maka festivals are always very draining. I just want to crawl into my bed and dream the night away, she says wishfully. She's really good at this, the lying. I didn't expect Billy's to be aware of it either. Though it makes sense now that I think about it. Lena comes to visit him often, not to mention they both wear trackers. I know why Billy has to wear his. Lena's tracker is still a mystery to me. Caleb says it's because she runs away often, but why is she not allowed to leave in the first place? She's always deflected my questions and refuses to answer it, which means she doesn't want me to know. Princess, why don't I walk you back to your chambers? Lena offers. Oh sure, I don't mind. I'm just about done here. Was I just staring at them the longest while I'm like monologuing in my brain? I quickly finish up any work I have left to do. Ooh, it's so pretty out here. Was it always this pretty? Have I always been out this late to see this? I don't think so. After my shift is over, Lena escorts me back to my room. My mind is burning with questions I want to ask her. There's rumors going around the palace that say my brother's returning to your home planet for another mission. Lena starts casually. Is that true? Her eyes flicker over to me. She's vying for information. I think so, yes. That's what he announced at dinner a while ago. It's been rather unclear whether or not that means I'll be returning too. I wish you all the best, Princess. May you see your planet one more time, before that opportunity is taken away from you completely. It dawns on me that she means that the planet could very well be destroyed, much like with Billy's home planet. Yeah, I say in a sad tone. I want to see my brother again. I'm sure you will eventually. Keep your chin up, Princess Michiko. If only her own brother didn't have a hand in conquering Earth. When we round the corner, I get knocked off my feet. Ouch! I yelp when I pivot land on the tiled floor. What the? Princess Lena quickly helps me up, though her eyes are glaring at the two soldiers in front of us. Pass, watch where you're going, one of them says in a deep voice. Perhaps you should stop wearing that bulky armor around the palace. Then you wouldn't bump into anyone by accident, Lena snaps at him. Are you mocking our national armor? The other soldier huffs. Maybe we should take you to see Lord Veritas. He roughly grabs Lena's arm, pulling her towards him. Pick someone of your own species. I get in between them, feeling protective. Hey, pick on someone of your own species, I snap at the soldier. The soldier releases Lena, his eyes now focused on me. Vermin has a mouth. Perhaps I should teach it a lesson, he threatens me. There be no such thing. Return to your post, soldier Dork. Lena says in a strict manner. Otherwise, you'll have to answer to James himself. Name dropping her own brother seems to have done a trick as both soldiers back off. They mumble something under their breaths until they shuffle out of view. What's wrong with them? They bumped into me, I grumble. Goat don't like outsiders, Lena explains. Odd, I thought many soldiers respected you, I point out, recalling the times soldiers obeyed her without question. They all seem to love her at the festival as well. Lena laughs at me, flipping her hair over her shoulder. Don't be fooled, in this world, many want my head on a spike. I like to ask her why, but we arrived at my door. She bids me a good night, and I'm still left with so many questions. A couple of weeks pass by in the blink of an eye. I've lost track of how long I've been there. There's one thing that gets me through each day, the hope I'll be returning to Earth. Finding some time invading any watchful eyes, I managed to visit the garden again. It's so beautiful and serene. I'm starting to relax just by being surrounded by all the plants. Everything else in the palace seems so sterile, lacking any vegetation. It's pleasing to see greenery. I give the bell-shaped plant a suspicious look, remembering to stay away from it. I traverse a small path, my eyes wandering around, trying to spot the young prince. That's when I see him, hunched over a small patch of dirt. Prince Nornis, I call out to him. I crouch down next to him with a pristine smile on my face. I manage to sneak in undetected, I explain. Nornis holds up his pale hand in front of me. Quiet, he warns me with a whisper. His eyes are trained on the dirt patch. Curious to hold my tongue. Here, lend me your hands, he whispered. Oh? I hold out my hands in front of him. He takes my hand into his own, guiding him closer to the dirt. Dig them in, just like this, he instructs as he pushes my hands into the middle of the soft soil. It's a little damp. He releases me and pushes the hair out of his face. He's concentrating. Hold it like that. Nornis then uses his own hands to dig into the spot where my own hands are. I feel something moving in the dirt, something lightly touching my fingers. I have no idea what it could be. Get ready to cut it with your hands, he tells me. Excuse me, cut? Then Nornis twists his hand around in the dirt until he pulls them out, raising the dirt along with him. A long, slender root follows along, still stuck in the soil. The root is twisting like it's alive. Cut it! Not wasting a second, I conjure up a piece of thread between my fingers and slice the root in half. It immediately stops squirming, retreating back into the soil. Nornis then releases an excited giggle, leaning closer to me as he shows what he's captured in his hands. What I assumed was just a patch of dirt instead reveals a small white seedling emerging from the soil. It glows bright like a heartbeat. The glowing continues as it sways from side to side, reacting to Nornis' own movements. Wow, I say, amazed, taking my hands out of the dirt. It's a Nefiri, Nornis explains with the biggest smile on his face. They sometimes need a little help with sprouting. This strangely feels like I just helped him helped him with giving life to a plant labor. Nornis gently lowers his hand into a small pot, prepared with soil beside him, bearing the seedlings, except the glowing dims until it darkens considerably. Nornis is distressed. Oh no, is it okay? I ask, concerned the seedling may have died. Nornis leans his face closer to the seedling, his lips nearly touching the small leaf. He closes his eyes and breathes on it with a powerful huff. Green droplets exit out of his mouth and land on the seedling. Nornis pulls back without another word. I anxiously wait for anything to change. Look, I say as I see the seedling start to glow again. Oh, so it's dying and then he just breathed on it to bring it back to life. Nornis lets out a relieved sigh. It's still alive, he says with a smile. You did a good job, I compliment him. I'm genuinely happy for this small little seedling. Nornis' expression changes from happy to painful. Is he alright? Ah! Nornis gasps and collapses onto the ground. Alarmed, I quickly look over his body, seeing a form of injuries. Prince Nornis, what's wrong? Did he get poisoned, perhaps? He seems to be sweating short of breath. Weakly, oh my god, is his health so weak? He lifts up his arm, pointing to the direction of the fountain. He's mumbling something that's hard to hear. What are you saying? I ask, leaning closer. Water, he breathes out. Oh my god, what if he needs water to live? And his brother is conquering his brother's making people conquer all these worlds. Planets. For water, to save his brother. In an instant, I understand. I grab one of the other pots next to Nornis and quickly run over towards the fountain. I dip the pot into the water, quickly filling it up, then returning back to him. Here's water, I say, and place the rim of the pot on his lips. Nornis weakly lifts his hands to be able to sip on the water. He ends up drinking everything I gathered. Do you just want to live on Earth? Plenty of water there, and you could say you're a superhero. I'm just saying. How are you feeling now, I ask. But then again, I don't know how his body will react to the Earth's weather stuff. Nona sits up straight, wiping away some sweat from his forehead. Thank you, Princess Michiko. I really needed that. Should I call for Healabilius? I recall Norna's visiting the infirmary a couple of times. Perhaps he's sick. It's alright. I just need a recharge. No need to worry. He flashes me into a smile. Eventually, we moved to sit down on one of the benches in the garden. How are you feeling? I asked, still worried. Better. My condition can become quite severe at times if I'm not treated promptly. Sorry for scaring you, trails off. Don't be sorry. I didn't realize it was that bad, though. If I'm near water, I should be fine. That's why I like being in my garden, he says, and points to the fountain in the middle. Water, you say? Water is the source of all life, he explains proudly. Water is life. Yolk said the same thing to me at the beginning. They came to Earth for water and conquered Billy's planet right as well. It was all because of Noiness. There doesn't seem to be much water on this planet. It looks like a big desert wasteland, I know. It used to be way worse. My brother tells me Yule was on the brink of death before he arrived. However, we have a lot of water available to us now. You're not from this planet. The question leaves my lips faster than I could think. I mean, yes, I did think it was odd how different they looked from everyone else, especially when Billy has told me that the goat are from Yule. But I didn't stop to think that meant Veritas and Nornis aren't from Yule. Nornis shrugs at me. We're not. No, I was a baby when my brother brought me to this planet. I don't remember much of that time. My brain goes over his words at the speed of light. They arrived here, and somehow Veritas was made Lord. However, was he truly named Lord, or did he take that title for himself? Did he conquer Yule just as he planned to do with Earth? I'm too afraid to ask, so I flash Nornis an awkward smile. Thank you for coming. I was starting to worry that you'd forgotten the way to the garden. I chuckle lightly. Not at all. I've just been very busy. I don't have a lot of freedom. Neither do I, Nornis confesses. You went to the Maka festival, right? I'm forbidden from going, so I don't know what it's like. He's looking at me with those curious-looking eyes, like he's waiting for me to say something. Yes, the Maka festival. I was allowed to attend. There was a very big bonfire and a dance led by Princess Lena. It was all very intense and explosive. Explosive, Nornis cries out. Was there an attack? Oh, I meant the energy was very lively. I quickly explained. That's good. I've heard some of the explosions in the city. Those poor goat. Yeah, I trail off. It was very scary when I saw it up close at the market. His eyes light up. You've been to the market? Yes, I didn't go alone, of course. I was escorted and guarded. Then an explosion went off and we all had to return. Nornis stays quiet for a bit, looking straight ahead of him. Did you try out any of their foods? He asked. At the market? Yes, I have heard many servants talk about the food there, how it's much better than here in the palace because it suits their taste more. I'm immensely curious. I feel pain in my heart. This poor guy. He obviously can't step foot outside of this palace, let alone attend a festival or visit a market to eat different kinds of foods. Is your condition so severe that you can't leave the palace? Is that why you're not allowed to go anywhere else? Nornis bites down his bottom lip. That's one of the reasons, but I can hold up quite well. If I carry a patch of water with me, I should be fine. I've tried convincing my brother lots of time before, but he won't even listen to what I have to say. I'm sorry. That doesn't sound very fair. Then again, here I am, kidnapped against my will, also stuck in the same palace, but I feel for him too. I feel for him, I do. So why don't I tell you about Earth, my home planet? Did you know we have huge oceans of water there? I say with a grin, hoping to cheer him up. Really? Have you ever swam in it before? His childlike innocence is contagious, and I can't help but answer his questions one by one. I explain how lush and wonderful Earth is like, with its wonderful rainforests and snowy mountains or the vast oceans. Nornis hangs on my every word, listening intently. It feels nice to talk about my home like this. It makes me miss it even more. Today is my day off. Billy said he has some business to attend to himself, so with nothing else to do, I end up wandering the palace grounds. I stare at the door that leads to the secret passageway, wondering if perhaps I could slip out. The urge to break free, to escape from the palace, even if just for a moment, is so intense that it's hard to ignore. Not only that, I'm still very much interested to what Lena is doing when she sneaks out. Does she visit a secret lover? Does she visit some sort of club, attend a gathering? She makes it look so easy, not wearing a tracker, and mysteriously vanishes. She walked right through this opening. Can I do the same? Can I go out as well, without anyone suspecting? I know James likes to check up on me randomly, but there's still sparse days can go by without seeing him. So it feels like there's no one constantly checking my location. However, he did say he'd end my life on the spot if he caught me without the tracker. Then again, death threats is practically his middle name, and so far he hasn't actually done anything. In fact, I feel like I have immunity because I know he intends to use my position as a princess. Surely I can go out. I shake my head at myself. I really shouldn't be trying to actively defy the rules, no matter how stubborn I am. It's not like I have a good reason for leaving. I shriek out loud when I collide into someone's chest once I exit the hallway. Hello! Oh, Captain James, I say, noticing his glare at me. You frightened me. I quickly push myself away. My heart is hammering in my chest. Does he know about the secret passage? That's when I notice a tracking device clutched in his hand. He clicks his tongue, looking away from me. His attention is obviously on the tracker. This time, however, it doesn't seem like he's looking for me. Looking for Princess Lena, I inquire. Surprise shows on his face, however brief. I guessed right. He's looking for her. He must be. As a matter of fact, I am, he answers honestly, straightening his back. Have you seen her? No, can't say I have. James releases an agitated growl. He doesn't know where she is. That means he doesn't know about the secret passage. Try to tell him of its existence. That Lena could have slipped out of the palace. It's right behind us. It would be so easy. No, I can't go revealing people's secrets like that. Just like that. Captain James, to call out his name. Why is it that Princess Lena has to wear a tracker and can't leave the palace? For a while he remains silent, his brown eyes piercing into my own. I'm going to find out the truth one way or another. Why is it that you're always full of questions? He asks, annoyance seeping through his words. And why is it you never seem to answer any? I quip. He's always avoiding the question, or telling me to shut up. Actually, now that I think about it, Lena is exactly the same way. I guess it runs in the family. James lets out a huff of irritation and folds his arms. Challenging me won't make me answer your questions, Princess. Yes, but it sure does make me feel better. He does his head to the side. Lena doesn't enjoy the same amount of freedom as the rest of us do. That's all you need to know. I blink at him. That's the most information he's volunteered so far. Well, I haven't. Speak of the devil, in the distance I spot Lena up high on the balcony. She seems to be engaged in some kind of conversation with some soldiers. I guess she was in the palace all along. Actually, she's right there. I point towards the balconies. James turns to look into the direction I point, squinting his eyes against the sun. She's there, he asks, sounding unsure. My vision is much clearer and detailed than his, as far as I can deduce. It's the same with anyone else back on Earth. They never really know what I was looking at in the distance. Yes, there seems to be two soldiers with her. She looks a little angry. Angry, James repeats. Wait, those are the same soldiers we ran into a couple weeks ago. That's when I see one of the soldiers grab Lena. She pulls herself free, throwing a punch in his face. Except the second soldier punches her in her stomach, causing her to drop down. I gasp loudly. They're hurting her. What? The soldiers, they're hitting her. Dust fills my lungs as the shockwave blows a giant cloud of sand my way. I cough loudly, momentarily distracted, not realizing what's happened. Then I see it, James hurtling himself towards Lena at high speed. His face, his markings glowing a cyan blue. Taking a second to collect myself, I follow after him, running across the grounds. I don't know why I am. James has got this handled. But when I see the soldiers kicking Lena when she's already down, something inside of me just takes over. I'm halfway across, my heart rate is going out of control. I haven't exercised in forever. And James has already landed on the balconies. He knocks one of the soldiers away from Lena. The other one, however, jumps at James' back. As I run closer to the large walls, I can't see them anymore. My vision is blocked. I can hear them grunting as I fight. Something large drops right next to me, scaring the living daylights out of me. I shriek, jumping away in surprise. It's one of the soldiers. I may look away as my stomach turns unpleasantly at the sight of a dead body. The distance of the fall instantly crushed him. I look up, expecting to see James handling the situation. Instead, I see Lena at the very edge, pushed off by the soldier. Shit! I spread my arms wide, fingers fanned out, and I shoot pieces of thread towards the walls. Lena falls before my eyes. I can't weave a net fast enough. James, I yell out at the top of my lungs. Lena reaches my dangly safety net, breaking apart several strands in an instant, but I try as fast as I can to keep spinning more thread. Her entire body makes a dent in the net, weighing it down until she almost touches the ground and then bounces back up like it's a trampoline. James swoops in to catch her in midair, making sure she doesn't fall back down. I let out a breath of relief when I see her safe. My net was enough to catch her despite the shoddy weaving technique I used. James lowers both of them down onto the ground next to me. Lena, are you alright? I ask, catching up with them. Those blasted fools, she says, huffing loudly. She pats down her skirt to remove any wrinkles. Lena, what happened? Tell me, James urges her. Their tempers got the better of them, or perhaps they've been lying in wait all this time until an opportunity presented itself. She's biting down on her finger, deep in thought. I'm glad you're alright, I say. She doesn't seem that concerned. Yes, thank you, Princess Michiko. Quick thinking. Hey, it's Caleb! Where were you the whole time? Another sound blast fills the sky, and suddenly Caleb appears as well. His eyes are immediately on the dead body on the ground. I heard a scream. Lena, what did you do? He asked. What did I do? Lena repeats, annoyed. Why is that your first question? There were these soldiers that were attacking her, I explained. Caleb inspects his sister's body for any injuries and finally notices a swollen cheek. Caleb looks at James, eyes narrowed. And you didn't protect her. James growls at him in return. This isn't looking good. I addressed the problem, he points at the dead body, another one up there too. You let them hurt her, Caleb hisses darkly. It is our duty to protect our family, to protect her. Hey! Okay, let's not fight. He was trying to look for her. I don't know where you were, Caleb, but James suddenly grabs Caleb by his shirt, aggressively pulling him towards him as they butt heads. You think I don't know that? Can both of you idiots stop talking like I'm a child? I'm not some fragile being that needs constant protection just because I've lost my ability to phase, Lena tells him in anger. Oh. I feel like we gotta leave now. I think we've overheard. Too much. The two of them break and step away from each other. So Lena can't phase, is that why she can't fly? Lena, you're vulnerable, which is why the two of us need to make sure nothing happens to you. If one of us is allowing such infractions to happen, then I do not allow this to happen, James cuts him off. This feels all wrong. Why are they all fighting with each other when there's been an attempt on Lena's life? Caleb, I love you, but... Captain Caleb, no offense, but you weren't there, I speak up. It bothers me that Caleb was treating James this way when all he did was defend his sister as soon as he saw she was in trouble. Caleb closes his mouth and stares at me, thinking it's strange I decided to insert myself into their argument. Pardon me, he says. If it weren't for the captain, Lena would have probably died, I stress. So dramatic, says Lena, not impressed. Again, like I said, I'm not some helpless child incapable of The princess is wrong, James cuts her off. If it weren't for her, Lena would have died. It was you that spotted her in the first place, and somehow conjured up this web to catch her when she fell. She fell, Caleb echoes incredulously. And the princess caught her, James finishes for him. Is he paying me a compliment? Is he saying thanks? I can't tell. He sounds angry. To be fair, you caught her as well, I say. My net probably would have been torn apart had she bounced on it a second time. Lena throws her hands up in the air, agitated that everyone is talking about her while she's there. I'm done. I'm leaving. You two can clean up this mess. She dramatically starts climbing up the stairs. Any other dead soldiers I should be looking for? Asked Caleb, referring to the one on the ground. Another one up on the loggia, broken neck. This needs to be reported to Lord Veritas. James gives one hard, long look at his brother. Tell him the soldiers plotted to kill her, that is all. What if there are more? What if there weren't the only two? I asked, so worried if they'd come after her. James chuckles lightly. Of course there's more. There always are. Lena has a knack for creating enemies. Suddenly I feel like it's my fault. I recognize the soldiers from before. They bumped into me and got all angry. Princess Lena helped me out. It wasn't any of her doing. It was because of me. James walks up to me, lowering his face next to my ear. No, the fault lies with the soldiers. Do not take the blame when it has nothing to do with you. I stared down at my hands, feeling a little flustered. I thought he'd jump at the chance to blame this on me, but it's the exact opposite. Now I suggest you return to your chambers as well with the aftermath. I don't exactly want to stick around any longer either. Dead bodies makes my anxiety spike. Eventually, James urging I go back to my room. Well then, as I'm sorting vials in the infirmary, I come across a section that's locked away. Bilius, what are these for? I ask, curious as to why it's locked. Bilius follows my line of sight. Prince Nornan's blood samples, they are not to be touched. I heed his warning and stay away from them. Does Prince Nornas have to do a lot of tests for his condition? I wonder out loud. I'm going to guess that Bilius is helping Nornas with his condition. There's a slight pause before Bilius answers. Have you been seeing the prince? Oh crap. I gave myself away. My visits to the gardens were supposed to be a secret. Well, it's none of my concern either way, he says, closing his eyes. However, Prince Nornas' medical records are classified. There's no need for you to know that kind of information, given your lack of medical training. He's right about that. I may be able to suture a wound, but I wouldn't be of any use when it comes to analyzing blood samples. I can't even read their language. I will tell you this, Princess Michiko. The reason you were most likely taken by Prince James because of the young prince's condition. This is starting to make a lot of sense to me. When I first arrived, Bilius told me Veritas disposed of anyone who wasn't useful to his quest. This quest is about Nornas. Oh, you mean Lord Veritas is looking for a cure, and he's rounding up anyone with any medical abilities. Bilius remains quiet, but his silence speaks volumes to me. Nornas says he is alright as long as he's near water. James spoke of earth oceans and vast amounts of water at the banquet. Bilius said that only people with medical abilities were taken. Is that really it? Is Veritas conquering planets because he wants to cure whatever it is that Nornas has? Just for a single person, he's willing to sacrifice billions. I'm led to ponder my own thoughts for a while. I get into a fit of coughs when I inhale a bunch of dust from moving an old-looking container. Are you alright? Bilius asks. I clear my throat. Yeah, just a bit of dust, I say, coughing one last time. Let me know if your cough gets worse. I'm fine. By the way, Princess Michiko, there's something I wish to discuss. Yes? Tomorrow, your assistance won't be required. I won't be present, as I need to attend some other business. Wait, what am I supposed to do then? Bilius flashes me a tiny smile. You can use your day off to relax, perhaps visit a certain garden. Bilius! I guess it's not a secret. I've been in Norna's garden, but at least Bilius seems to be keeping it to himself. I guess he's full of secrets. That sounds nice, I reply. Bilious, can you be our secret lover at this point? Like, fuck, a day off. Damn, these chapters are long. All I want to do is crash on my weird bed couch and sleep. However, I was wholly unprepared for another person to be inside of the room. Oh, Nornis? My heart is just about stopped seeing Nornis sitting on my bed. Prince Nornis, what are you doing here? You really scared me. Looking apologetic, Nornis stares at the floor. My apologies. He then stands up to get closer to me, a grin spread widely on his face as if he's unable to contain himself any longer, bursting to share with me some kind of interesting fact or news. I really wanted to let you know about the Nephri. It's grown so much since you last visited, I wish you could see it. I can't help but smile in response. His enthusiasm is always contagious. It's good to hear the plant I helped with is still going strong. I would love to see it, I answer honestly. Have you been taking good care of it? Why yes, though it would need to move to another pot soon, as it's growing quite fast. I wish I could select the pottery myself, but I always have to make do with what the servants give to me. Norris looks deep in thought, probably mulling over the fact that he doesn't have a hand in picking out what he wants. That's too bad. Can't you tell them which one you want? I tried, but they always get the size wrong. I've lost many seedlings because they outgrew the containers. He looks genuinely guilty. Gardening is not something I have much knowledge about, much less when you add special abilities to make plants grow. I do appreciate the work that goes into it. It must be pretty important for Norris to get a good-sized pot. I remember a lovely pottery stand at the market last month. My eyes widen as an idea formulates in the back of my mind, like an urge, growing stronger and faster. To tell you the truth, Prince Norris, I'm free tomorrow. Really, then you can come see me. His eyes light up with an energy rivaling the sun. The corner of my mouth lifts up as my lips transform to a devious smile. I slip off the tracker from my arm. Prince Norris, do you want to see the outside? No! No! No, do not. No, he's gonna die on me. Oh my god. Oh my god, my girl's absolutely dumb as fuck. Dumb as fuck. I would not chance that on the life of me. I would not. Anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.